Hello. It's good to visit you again. I'm reaching out to you. If you have any thoughts to share with me, I'm new to this game of YouTube. Several years ago, when I used to have a counseling center, a lady was in my room that put this YouTube on my cell phone. She was in my room. She also put it on Twitter, which became X, so a lot of the stuff on here will be on X also. And then I did a live session or video on what it was like to be a counselor or something like that, and maybe one or two other videos, and then I stopped for several years. Then I decided, as a writer of several books of love poetry in the past, from college till about now. I write now, but I don't necessarily publish. I published my last 4 books about 5 years ago. Anybody that wants to check, see if I'm right, look under Jim Wortham under Amazon, and you'll see not only the last 4 books, but books since I started in the 1990s. No, say 19. I can't say 1990s. I started in 1969 with my first book, but it was 1971 before they put up my first book on, which was my second book, on Amazon. And I only mention this to give some credibility to trying to do creative work. And the reason I've mentioned poetry in particular is that over the last few years I have shifted any desire to write. Well, actually, I stopped for the most part of writing anything. And this has become the first choice. Talking. Now, let me tell you about the talking, why I switched to talking from writing. Writing has become more difficult because I'm older, and the earlier books were about making relationships. At this point, I'm not trying to meet friends or make relationships. I can't give you any reasons that would make you feel better or would make possibly any sense why I did this, but I thought, I've been a counselor here in town for about 35 years, but in Louisville and here in town for maybe 40 years. When I say a counselor, I'm talking about, number one, drug and alcohol, getting people off of that. Second of all, trying to work with families and heal their problems. When you do that around 40 years, it's a natural second choice from writing, maybe first choice, since the writing has become second choice. I hope to start writing again. It's unexplainable why the choice of words that flowed so well as a writer has stopped. That's incredible. I have no explanation why it switched over to wanting to do YouTube. Now, the reason I am making this YouTube video is because I have no training. My views are very, 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 very few, as you can see. I have two views that are in the thousands. And let me not confuse you here. I got two views, one way long ago and one more recent that has a few thousand views. If you look at my views right now, there could be 10, 20, 50, plus or minus a few. I don't have anyone to talk to about this. I grab a hint or two off the people's willing to share, the people that's willing to share on YouTube. I may pick up a hint or two, but the hint or two isn't making a difference, okay? It's not making a difference. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you one thing I've tried. And if you would, please tell me if this is true or not. The one thing I could do that was mentioned was, after you do a YouTube video, once it's over, you need to instantly play it back. And that will do something to bump up your I don't want to say credibility. It's not that. It'll pump up something to cause more views. Now, you tell me if that's right or not, if you want to. In other words, when this is over, I will replay it. And that's supposed to be a secret that will cause me to have more views. These are the type of helps I'm getting. Other helps are not there. They're not there. Except for one. Keep putting out videos, and on several times, and you can probably see this on my videos, I say I'm going to probably close it down. And then I will watch videos saying there's so many people closing their program down right before they could have made it, before a lot of people would start watching. We're not talking about 10 or 20 people closing their program. We're not talking about 100 a day closing their program because it's not going anywhere where they want it to go. We're talking about perhaps thousands a day closing their YouTube channel because they just think they're not making it. And then the person doing the video said if they'd have just hung in there and kept doing it, they would have broken a barrier. There's a barrier. If you keep doing it, there's a barrier where you will go over it, and then you'll have all sorts of people watching you. Well, I've taken that view. That's why I've done 3 videos tonight. Some days this week I didn't do any. Or in the last week I didn't do any. I always want to leave something that will help another person, even if it's one. And I'm afraid this time the only one thing I can suggest for people is don't stop. Keep on making videos. That's what I've been told. Keep making videos and don't stop. And I've wanted to stop so many times. I've wanted to close this down so many times. I don't ask very often for people to like it or to even subscribe. I think that's begging. So that's not one of the things I'd suggest. But other people telling you how to monetize, that means make money on YouTube, they will suggest ways you can ask for people to always subscribe and like you, and they'll go one third way and say, and leave me a message. So you got three things that a lot of people say to do if you want a lot of subscriptions, and to get to the point where you can monetize at 1,000 people and so many hours of watch time. And I'll mention those three things again. You want 1,000 views. You want so many hours of watch time, which I don't know what it is. And three, you want people to hit, they like you. Now there's a fourth thing. You want to engage. You want to engage. That means when you ask, you want to ask them to respond. Always ask them to respond to something that you've said. So there's four ingredients to, if you want to be monetized, 4 ingredients to work into it. And I am not the person to ask. I'm just stating those, and if I left one one good thought for you today, that's what I hope I did. You might want to look at every single video on YouTube of people saying how they made money on YouTube, or how you can make money on YouTube. It's going to take a lot of hours, a lot of time, and you might make more money than you've ever made before in your life. Now, what I'm asking for from you, if you have time to write me a note and send it, is there anything other than me doing the 4 or 5 basic things? I'll tell you what I do. I put the title. Then the second thing it asks for is any information you want to leave on it. Then it says, is this for kids or is it for adults? Always put adults. You only have to do that once. And then there's a thing called tags, which I don't even know what I'm supposed to do there. So what I do there is, if the tag is on a particular subject, I may put that subject there. Maybe 2 or 3 times if it relates to 3 different topics. You got to pick one of 3 pictures for yourself too, unless you use commercial pictures. And when you look at mine, you know I don't even know how to make commercial pictures. So you always see me with a hat, without a hat, or looking like a bum, maybe even looking better than the bum. So there's that, which I do pay attention to that. If I have 3 choices, if it's long enough for me to come back and have 3 choices, I'll pick the one I like the best. And then from there, it goes right on down to publish. You know, you keep hitting buttons to where it says publish. I do that. I'll publish it. Very few times do I have to correct it, but I can. I can correct a letter or a word. And then at that point it says, do you want to put it on X? That is the old Twitter, and I always put it on, almost always put it on Twitter or X. Now I went back today and I looked at X, and yep, I was on there. 2 or 3 people, or no people, looked at it, but it was there. I don't know how long it'll stay there. I'm talking about each of these videos. I don't know if they keep them on for a certain amount of time or not. Maybe you can tell me. So this is what I'm, the bottom line is, I've shared with you what I know. If you know anything that I haven't shared that you'd like to share with me, I'd love it. I really would. Because us who are doing this, these programs, are dropping by the day. They're dropping not 1 a day, 100 a day, 200 a day, giving up, when if they knew just a little bit more and spent a little bit more time doing it, they could have a fantastic following. Having said that, I know there's a lot of things I know to do right now, like make a decent video, dress where people would like to look at me, don't operate from my basement with boxes and shirts hanging up drying. I know there's things that I can do. It's not that I'm lazy, it's just so much to do in life. So much to do that I get to some of it and I don't get to others. I want to thank you for listening to me, and you're kind. You're good people. You're good people to spend this much time listening. And if you want to leave me a message, that's beautiful. So until then, God bless you. We're going to be talking later. Maybe even tomorrow. Okay, it's nighttime here. It's 10:30. So good night.